The uncomfortable truth. What if I told you that some of the most successful people you admire were considered average students, and that the education system might be measuring the wrong things entirely? Look, I'm not here to bash education, that would be stupid. But I am here to share research from Harvard, Stanford, and other top institutions that reveals something fascinating about how we think about intelligence and success. And honestly, this completely changed how I view my own potential, and maybe it'll change yours too. Personal connection and credibility. Here's my story. I wasn't the kid getting straight A's. I was the one asking but why. When everyone else was memorizing formulas, I got decent grades, but I always felt like I was missing something, like there was this secret code to success that I wasn't getting. Fast forward to today. I've built multiple successful businesses, speak at conferences, and work with incredibly talented people. But here's what's interesting: many of the most innovative people I know weren't the valedictorians. They were the curious ones, the persistent ones, the ones who learned to think differently. Let me show you what the research actually reveals. The valedictorian paradox. Dr. Karen Arnold from Boston College conducted one of the most fascinating studies on academic achievement. She followed 81 high school valedictorians for over a decade to see what happened to these top performers. Here's what she discovered: 95% of valedictorians went on to graduate college with high GPAs and enter solid professional careers: doctors, lawyers, accountants, engineers. They achieved exactly what the system promised. But here's the interesting part. Very few became the industry revolutionaries or world-changing innovators. Arnold's conclusion? Valedictorians aren't likely to be the future visionaries. They typically settle into the system instead of shaking it up. Now, before you misunderstand me, this isn't a failure. These are successful, accomplished people making real contributions to society. But it raises an important question: are we optimizing for the wrong kind of success? The entrepreneur's dilemma. When researchers study entrepreneurship, they find something curious. While I couldn't verify the exact statistics from the original script, multiple studies show that many successful entrepreneurs weren't necessarily the top academic performers. Why? It's not that they were less intelligent. It's that they developed different skills. Risk tolerance: they learned to be comfortable with uncertainty. Resilience: they bounced back from failures faster. Creative problem solving: they found new ways to approach challenges. Practical application: they focused on building real solutions, not just passing tests. The psychology behind success. Here's where it gets really interesting. Dr. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford reveals something crucial about mindset. Students constantly praised for being smart often develop a fixed mindset. They become afraid of challenges because failure might prove they're not actually intelligent. Students who struggle and overcome challenges develop a growth mindset. They learn that intelligence isn't fixed, it's something you build through effort and learning from mistakes. Think about it. School is like learning to solve puzzles where someone else already knows the answer. But real life is like being given a blank canvas and creating something entirely new. The counter perspective. Why education still matters. Let me be crystal clear: education is incredibly valuable. The Bureau of Labor Statistics shows college graduates earn about $1.2 million more over their careers than high school graduates. Formal education provides critical thinking skills, specialized knowledge, discipline and work ethic, professional networks, credibility in many fields. You absolutely need formal education for medicine, engineering, law, and countless other professions. The issue isn't education itself, it's when we make grades the only measure of potential. The real success equation. After studying hundreds of successful people across different fields, here's what I've noticed. Traditional academic success optimizes for following instructions perfectly, avoiding mistakes, giving the right answer, working within established systems. Entrepreneurial success often requires questioning assumptions, learning from failure, creating new solutions, building new systems. Both skill sets are valuable. Both are needed. They're just different. The historical context. Here's something that'll surprise you. Our current education system was designed in 1893, primarily to create factory workers who could follow instructions and work in structured environments. But we don't live in a factory economy anymore. We live in a knowledge and creativity economy where the biggest rewards go to people who can think differently, solve unique problems, and create value in new ways. Real stories, real impact. Let me tell you about Sarah. She graduated with a 2.8 GPA, convinced she wasn't college material. Today, she runs a tech startup that's revolutionizing how small businesses manage inventory. When I asked her what changed, she said, "I stopped trying to be good at everything and started being great at what I cared about." Or consider James Dyson, who failed his way through 5,126 prototypes before creating the revolutionary vacuum cleaner. His failures weren't failures at all, they were his education. The emotional reality. You know what breaks my heart? Right now, there are incredibly talented people who think they're not smart enough because they don't fit into traditional academic measurements. But intelligence isn't singular, it's plural. You might struggle with calculus but have incredible emotional intelligence. You might get B's in English, but have revolutionary ideas about sustainable energy. Your grades measure how well you fit into one specific system. They don't measure your potential to create entirely new systems. The skills that actually predict success. Based on extensive research, here are the skills that consistently predict long-term success. 1. Grit, the ability to persist through challenges and setbacks. 2. Curiosity, asking better questions and seeking deeper understanding. 3. Emotional intelligence, understanding and connecting with people. 4. Adaptability, thriving in changing environments. 5. Creative problem solving, finding innovative solutions. 6. Communication, sharing ideas effectively. 7. Collaboration, working well with diverse teams. Notice what's missing: GPA, test scores, class rank. Redefining intelligence. What if we expanded our definition of intelligence? What if we recognized analytical intelligence, traditional academic problem solving; creative intelligence, innovative thinking and artistic ability; practical intelligence, street smarts and real-world application; emotional intelligence, understanding people and relationships; kinesthetic intelligence, physical and hands-on learning; social intelligence, building communities and movements. Every person has a unique combination of these intelligences. The key is finding where yours shine brightest. The path forward. So here's what I want you to consider. Instead of asking, "Am I smart enough?" ask, "What kind of smart am I?" Instead of "What's my GPA?" ask, "What problems do I want to solve?" Instead of "Will I succeed?" ask, "How can I add value to the world?" Your action plan. Here's what I want you to do. 1. Identify your natural strengths, what comes easily to you that others find difficult. 2. Find your passion projects, what would you work on even if you weren't paid. 3. Embrace failure as learning, every mistake is data for improvement. 4. Build real skills, focus on creating value, not just getting grades. 5. Connect with others, success is rarely a solo journey. For the struggling students. If you're watching this and feeling like you're not good enough because of your grades, I want you to remember something. Your transcript is not your destiny. Your character is. Your past performance is not your future potential. Your willingness to grow is. The same mind that struggles with standardized tests might revolutionize how we think about problems. The same creativity that gets you in trouble in class might lead to breakthrough innovations. The bigger picture. We need both types of people: those who excel within systems and those who create new systems. We need both the doctor who follows proven protocols and the researcher who discovers new treatments. The tragedy isn't that some people get better grades than others. The tragedy is when we convince brilliant people they're not smart because they don't fit one narrow definition of intelligence. A balanced approach. Here's what I believe: get the best education you can, but don't let it define your entire worth. Learn the fundamentals, but also pursue your passions. Respect traditional knowledge, but don't be afraid to question it. Success isn't choosing between being a good student or an innovator. It's about being a lifelong learner who can adapt and create value in an ever-changing world. Your call to action. If this perspective resonates with you, I want to hear from you. Comment below with #myuniquevalue and tell me. 1. What's one thing you're naturally good at that isn't measured by grades? 2. What problem in the world genuinely excites you to solve? 3. How will you start developing your unique strengths this week? Remember, the world doesn't need another person who's perfect at following someone else's path. The world needs the authentic you with all your unique perspectives, creative solutions, and bold questions. The final truth. Success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most curious, the most persistent, and the most willing to learn and grow. Your value isn't determined by how well you fit into their system. Your value is determined by how much positive impact you create in the world. So stop trying to be the perfect student. Start trying to be the most authentic version of yourself. The future belongs to those who can think differently, solve problems creatively, and never stop learning, and I believe you have exactly what it takes. If this opened your eyes to a new way of thinking about success, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe because next week, I'm breaking down the specific skills that create lasting success and how to develop them starting today. Use #myuniquevalue because I read every comment and want to celebrate what makes you uniquely valuable. Remember, your grades don't define you. Your growth does.